Well, hello and welcome to the Potters Podcast. We've got a packed show for you. Literally nothing's happened, but what we're going to do, we're going to chuck on. We're going to carry on. Congratulations to Nathan Jones for getting married. That's the first thing. We've got to put that in. He's punching well above his weight, man. We've got to put that in. But first off, first topic we're going to talk about is
whatever you want to talk about.
Whatever we want to talk about. Now, topic one is the transfers, which is literally nothing. We've been going now for a month. And so what we're going to say is, so what do you reckon of the transfers so far?
Oh, they're non-existent, aren't they, at the minute?
Well, that's what I mean. I mean, we've got
Matthew Pennington.
We've been linked to Matthew Pennington. We've been linked to Lee Gregory, which is supposed to be happening. Nick Powell,
Liam Lindsay,
whoever that fella is.
Romain Sawyers,
which I wouldn't mind. I think that'd be a good signing.
Well, he has played for Vale.
He's played for Vale.
One game. And the Baggies as well.
See, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I'm a bit put off now. Let's go for Tompo.
Sack him off. And Jagielka.
Well, Jagielka, I mean, you're not going to get an older man, really, are you? I mean, how old is he now? 48?
He's here for the golf club, isn't he, at the end of the day?
Well, we've got a cracking one, haven't we, Trenton?
He's here for the golf.
That's what he's here for. But like I say, it's... So what do you reckon is ready from there? That in all seriousness,
so at this level now, you're going to get players that maybe you don't recognise. At the Prem, you bought names, didn't you? When you're at Championship, it's less money, and I think Nathan Jones is looking at people that maybe take the club forward over a couple of years, because you can buy another name, but then as soon as they start playing well, they leave again, don't they? Which is what we've had with people like Arnautovic. He came in to prove a point because his attitude was poor, and as soon as he proved the point, he was gone, and that was it. So
it's not so much about how much we spend. I don't mind how much we spend, but it's when you buy players for James McLean for £5 million
it's a lot of money, that.
And buying Tom Ince, who's just not worth anywhere near £12 million or 15, whatever we spend. I don't mind spending money and buying good players, but
Ince is a name though, isn't he? Because of his dad.
Yeah, well,
that's the be all and end all. Every club he's ever been at, it's Paul Ince's son. Well, he's nowhere near as good as Paul Ince, is he?
Well, he's at home sleeping, dreaming, and thinking, yeah, I could be like my dad one day.
We couldn't get in the Huddersfield side, which says a lot because
they were the Championship side in the Premier League. Let's be brutally honest.
Yeah.
So, I mean, another player that we're going to have to put in there is Lee Gregory.
See, I didn't know nothing about him. I don't. As far as I was aware, he was still banging goals in for him. Morrison. He's been there.
Well, he's still there, yeah. He's still there with him, yeah. I mean, his record's not fantastic and he hasn't had a career that's been long-winded.
But do we carry it like Walters? Remember when Walters come in, we didn't really go, well, why have we bought him?
Well, I mean, he's hard-working and that's the main thing that we need. I mean, Sam Vokes is going to play most of the games anyway.
I think he's trying to change the morale in the dressing room a bit as well, because at the end of the day, there's too much coming out of Stoke saying how poor the dressing room is, the morale's low, and everyone's saying that there's no real leaders in there, and maybe that's what he's looking for. That's why we've looked at having Whalen in as a player coach as well.
I'd love that.
Yeah,
I'd love that.
I wouldn't mind if he kicked the ball twice.
Yeah,
as long as he sorted the dressing room.
If he played 4 games, but was in that dressing room. I mean, Ryan said himself that, he wasn't the shouter, he wasn't the one who was going out being, do this, do that, do the other, but he was the...
You could have 4 or 5 leaders in that dressing room.
Yeah,
they can take the thingy off you a little bit, the pressure off you. If you've got 1 or 2, Stephen Gerrard said it a couple of months ago about Carragher. It wasn't all on him all the time. There was other people in that dressing room who could say, "Oi, pull your finger out and sort yourself out." And that's the thing. At the moment, we're having players turning up late, drink driving, not turning up
at all. Yeah. The ones that crying because somebody didn't pass to them on the day.
And then we're getting players like what we've read today about Mbula, about Bologna not happy with his attitude. And at the end of the day, we knew that anyway.
We knew that as Stoke fans anyway. Yeah. Let's be honest, we bought all these players in the past, and but like I say, the ones that were being linked to, I mean, Nick Powell is one that interests me. I mean, he was started at Crewe, he was very highly rated young lad. He got Crewe up, basically got him up to League One. I think that, to be honest with you, when he was at United, he became a bit of a playboy. I think he thought he was something.
I think a lot of lads, young lads, do when they go there, though, don't they? That's the thing. You go there, it's big money. There's a lot of people around you, and you think, "I've made it," and maybe you haven't. And the thing is, there's big players who've gone United and not done it. Varane went there with a big reputation,
and a big price tag as well.
Yeah, exactly, and didn't cut it. And the thing is, these young lads need grounding, and I don't know. I think maybe, like you say, he's looking for people who are going to graft, because most Stokies will agree that if you put 110 in, it doesn't matter if you lose. The fans will come away and go, "Yeah, well, he grafted all day."
Yeah, he's working. He's working.
If you give up, then the fans will turn on you, and it's not nice to see anyway, which we've seen all season, is the fans turning on players.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't just say he's an hard worker and a grafter. I mean, from what I'm seeing, I'll put a video up eventually when I get one right. He's actually quite skillful, and he could play in that cam role behind the strikers, which is what we've been after, especially with Nathan Jones, because he says he wants to play this diamond formation, 4 at the back, holding midfielder, 2 central, a cam, and then 2 up top.
Yeah.
Now, Nick Powell could fill that role, and if he does well, we've got him for now.
Yeah.
So, and he's not going to have a high wage, so he's not going to be a player that's going to cost.
Well, this is the thing. He's not
us
walking in with a big attitude. You've got to look at a lot of players at Stoke. Even Joe Allen. Oh, well, I played for Liverpool. Do you know what I mean? A lot of them. Juve played for United. I played for this. I played for that. We don't need that. We need someone who's going to come in and work hard. And that the thing is, you mentioned Ryan Woods to me about the fact that he should have played more. And I don't think he had a bad attitude towards.
No, he's a good player.
He come in and did well at times. He needed some more positivity. He was a bit negative at times, but you could accuse Whelan of being like that sometimes in games when he played for Stoke.
Well,
he'd get so far and then he wouldn't go any further, but he was always quite solid at the back.
But there was no quality next to him, was there? I know there was Etebo, but I think when Ryan Woods was playing, Etebo was playing behind Woods, which didn't make a lot of sense at the time with Gary Rowett.
Yeah.
So you had the holding midfield was Woods, Etebo, sorry, and then you'd have Woods there and Joe Allen there, and he started all falling apart because there was no creative man there.
I don't think he wants Joe Allen on the team.
I don't understand why he's still here, to be honest.
I don't think, because it's Etebo said today, Auntie, that he thinks this team won't fail and he loves the Potters, and so yeah. I think his main aim is to bring Etebo in, and Sawyers will be alongside him.
Yeah,
that's
I wouldn't mind Sawyers. I mean, both times we've seen him play, he just looks like that. He's got that bit of quality with the ball, a bit of a runner, and I think
he's calm on the ball. When someone flies in at him, he's not bothered. A lot of our players are a little bit panicky when teams presses. Teams come in, they press hard, and we can't hold on to the ball. We lose it. Some other teams come, we'll press hard, and they just tap it round in the middle. Yeah, and we can't do that. No, and we need someone in the middle. I mean, don't get me wrong, Etebo's been great at holding the ball, but at times he's practically stamping on the other player for getting, because he's got no support anywhere.
Well, Sam Clucas does that, doesn't he? I mean, he's that player that can't handle himself.
I think he's been a poor signing himself.
Yeah. I think he'd be alright on the bench. I think he'd be a decent.
I don't think he knows where playing.
I don't think he knows where playing many of our players, and that's the biggest problem.
Yeah, and he's to me, I know he's talked about Pennington and stuff, but I think he needs to spend money on a left back. Not alone. We've been faffing around with a left back for years now. Even as far back as Mark Wilson. Mark Wilson was brought in as a centre midfielder, and he went left back.
I mean, anybody now over 35 would struggle to pick a left back, like a great left back at Stoke. Because I mean, for years under Pulis, we had centre backs turned into left backs, but they were centre backs. Clive Clark.
But that's when we were physical then.
Oh, a strong team, yeah.
We didn't let teams run at us. We were solid at the back. We didn't go too far forward. If we did that now, we'd get walked all over. If we try to play out of position at left back and that, which we have done, and it's proved. It's like Martin's Indy at left back. He's not got the legs to be at left back.
Well, it's makeshift again, isn't it? And with the amount of money we've spent to not have positions and players in positions that we need is laughable.
Well, I'd more prefer when we wasted sort of 18 million on Mbula is buy 3 players
Yeah, weird.
who are maybe under 25 and are promising. Because at the end of the day, if one of them didn't work out at the 3, if you spent 3 million on him, then you've only lost 3 million. And in football terms, 3 million's pittance.
Well, it's nothing now. It's like $1 million in the 90s.
And Booler, 18 million plus all his wages that he's earned over the time.
Yeah, but the thing is, that's nothing nowadays. 18 million
It's for a club like Stoke, though.
No, but a team in the Premier League, £18 million isn't a lot of money.
No.
I mean,
but it's proving now to be a lot of money.
Oh, it is now.
Still here.
But we've dropped, haven't we? But I mean, that comes down to Scholes and Cartwright that we'll talk about later on.
Yeah.
I mean, well, the next one we're going to have to talk about is Adam Davies.
Well, nothing seems to be happening on that front either, does it?
Well, apparently it's a free transfer. He's the backup keeper for Wales. He's been probably one of the best players Barnsley have had over the last 3 years. Now, if Jack Butland knows, well, it's a jump, but he has played in this league.
Yeah.
He got relegated with Barnsley, I think, 2 years ago. I think he would be a good replacement for Jack Butland at this level.
I think regardless of whether he is or not, I think Butland needs to go because his attitude's changed.
Yeah, his attitude's changed now. He needs to go.
Yeah.
So I mean, Adam Davies, free transfer. I'd say that's good business.
Yeah. We've got good goalkeeping coaches at the club. He could push on a bit.
I think his name is.
Yeah.
We've got. He just goalkeeper doesn't really. I mean, if we get someone like Davies in, it doesn't worry me. Federici back up, and then probably need another younger lad.
Yeah.
A kind of third choice.
We could be looking at bringing in the next Jack Butland at a younger age, couldn't you? Somebody else who's
the next one. But the thing is with Davies, I think he's at the perfect age. He's 26, which means he's at his peak. He's not a young lad. He knows his job now, so he could kick on. But to get him for now, it's in 3 years' time, if he becomes the Wales number 1.
Well, this is the thing. They're looking at a lot of these players on the list. He's not wasting money.
No, well, spent no at all, really, have they? I mean, if you get those 3 in, they've been, I'm sorry to say, been going on for nearly 2 months now. You still haven't signed.
They're still on holiday. They've got me.
Well, something's going on because
the flight's delayed. Something's
you see with that, they've been planning his wedding. He's one of the two.
They are the best men, aren't they, at the wedding?
Come sign for us. I'll let you be the best man.
They're hanging somewhere. Yes, we can.
What do you mean? Is she marrying me? What are you on about?
He's done well there, he has to tell.
Oh, he's done well, yes.
He's done very well.
He's not exactly a looker, is he?
He talks a good game, so.
Good game.
Must be saying something well in the dressing room.
Then we're going to have to move on now to Matthew Pennington. Oh dear.
Well, the thing is, how old is Pennington?
No idea.
No idea. He scored a goal against Liverpool.
That's his highlights.
And that's Stoke's idea of putting it on the page. Well, he scored against Liverpool.
That's his highlights. That's his highlights. He went Leeds, where apparently he started off okay, and then faded away. And then Leeds, I remember Leeds were in talks with him again to re-sign him again last season on loan, and the Leeds fans were moaning, saying it was a waste of time.
Yeah.
So he ended up at Ipswich Town and got him relegated. So why the hell are we interested in him? Fair enough, it was a permanent deal and we can develop him, but why loan him in?
The thing is, we seem to have this strange relationship with Everton, where we bought Cuco Martina. And when you look at everywhere he's been, everyone hates him.
Yeah, he's probably the worst right back I've ever seen. And that there's some bad choices in there.
I don't know, in the odd game, he bombed forward, didn't he? He got forward and he was alright, but going back, he was...
Well, the amount of goals he cost us directly from his mistakes or not doing his job was pathetic. And again, when you look at how Derby do low
Bauer didn't play, and when you look at Bauer last couple of games, how much more forward we got all the pitch of them on the...
But it's like the Sheffield United game. He cost us that second goal because he didn't defend.
Yeah.
And it's like we spent. I know how much was it? 4.5 million, 5 million on him. But you expect more than that.
He looks unfit and all.
Yeah, well, he hasn't been playing, has he? But the quicker we get him out of the club, the better. Got to start thinking forward now. And
he's had no real career at Stoke, has he?
No,
you can't really sit there and go, well, he was terrible for 3 years.
No.
He sort of came, then he was injured, then he didn't play, then he fell out with... But then again, is he one of them that's causing problems in the dressing room?
Well,
to fall out with the manager that quick. Normally, I think you give most managers the benefit of the doubt a little bit.
But I think he looked at Bowie and learned he couldn't defend. I think that's what Rowett saw. I think he looked at him and goes, he's making too many mistakes at the back and he's costing us goals.
Maybe he's doing it in training.
And especially how garbage our back line is anyway from coming down from the Premier League.
Yeah.
So like I say to you, it's one of them where we just have to look at what we can get. And well, I mean, it's not too bad now. We've got Tom Edwards, so for me, I think we've got a good right back there who can build for the next 5-6 years as long as he doesn't want to move on.
I think Edwards could play at an high level one day.
I think he could if he carries on. He's just got to learn how to when to run and when not to. That's I think.
Yeah, sometimes he can be a bit hasty when diving in as well. He can dive in a bit hard, and you're thinking, well,
he's a young lad, isn't he? That'll come with experience and time. I think he's a prospect of the future there.
Yeah,
and that's another thing that annoys me more than anything is that we brought these players in, but we had better options in his academy.
Yeah,
like we bought Ince, we bought McLean in, but for me, Verlinden's a better choice than both of them. Just from the little bits we saw.
Yeah, we only saw snippets of him, but what we did see of him was
he looked good. He was going forward. He was trying, and it's just frustrating. I mean, we're gonna have to move on now to probably the worst link on the list. I don't really want to introduce because I just don't want it to happen. You know, I'm just scared if I say it, we jinx it by saying Phil Jagielka might be joining the club.
But why at that age? Why? I don't know. I can't understand. I could understand if it was a big payoff. If he was going to come in and earn a big money payoff. I don't know. You see these lads go in China, don't they? They're not going for the football. They're going for 40 million in wages for a year.
Yeah, that's what I mean, China. Yeah.
So to me, you're 37. You're sitting at Everton. You played for them for a long time. It'd be easier to just say, I'm looking for a coaching role somewhere that might be able to play the odd game.
It would make sense, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
At his age.
I just don't know why I bother. Oh, I'll just go down Stoke and get hammered every week. I'll
just play at the back where I can't play anymore.
Yeah.
He hasn't played a game. Well, I don't think he's played many games the last 2 years for Everton.
No.
So it's one of them. I mean, personally, I hope Sheffield United move in and have him. And luckily, it has gone quiet since. So just got to hope that carries on.
The rumour mill, though, mate, since that we've had already, Sturridge, Welbeck, you know for a fact they ain't going to come.
Oh yeah, so some of them are absolute bollocks. I mean, let's be honest, Daniel Sturridge is definitely one.
Someone wrote on the webpage the other day that why don't we bring in Andy Carroll? I'm thinking he's played 3 games in 5 years.
There's no point in Andy Carroll.
No,
let him go America.
He should have done the decent thing like Dean Ashton did and admit and retire. Because Dean Ashton said, it's not fair, I'm not playing and I want a decent life after football. And at the end of the day, I know he's probably not done a lot, but I've seen him on telly and stuff, and you just think, actually, that's a decent thing to do. There's plenty of players who didn't do the right thing. Kieran Dyer, stealing a living every single club, come in, play 3 games, and then he was injured. And you think, it's just wrong. And if he did it in any other job, they'd be just going, just get rid of him. I don't care if I'll go to court for getting rid of him, just get rid of him.
Just get him out of the club, for Christ's sake. He does now.
Yeah.
So, well, we've got too many of them. I mean, the list is endless to talk about players that have got to go.
Yeah.
I mean, like I say, we've got to talk about now the biggest problem at Stoke in the last 5 years, and that's going to be topic 1. And
that's going to take a while.
I can't wait for this one. I really can't wait for this one.
Yeah.
The public can hear what I have to say.
Take a breath.
Well, this is the good thing about our podcast, is that we're going to actually talk as openly and honest about topics and subjects as we can, because I know the other ones will daren't say stuff because they don't want to offend people at the club. And
well, they can knock on my door.
They can knock on any time, and I'll explain to them there as well how shit they are. And that is Scholes and Cartwright.
I know it's bursting come out of you. Just do it. Just give it to the public.
Oh, right. So here we go. Scholes and Cartwright. The quicker these two get out of Stoke City, the better it is for everybody involved.
Yeah.
Scholes is an accountant. He has no idea what a player is, and the amount of quality in players we've missed out on because he doesn't know what he's doing.
Yeah. Robertson being one.
Robertson one. 15 million pounds. I think it was even less than that. I'm not sure. I'll have to look. We could have signed him. He's probably now worth 70, 80 million pounds.
Yeah, I'd say he's probably the best left back in world football.
He's definitely the best in the Premier League, without question of a doubt.
Yeah.
And we missed out on him because he doesn't understand. But then, He'll go like, oh, I'll tell you what, we'll give you £8 million for him.
But it's a yo-yo effect in the fact of you're not willing to spend 14 million on a young lad who's British
And
you know he's going to put the effort in, but you'll go and waste it on someone known from. Well, he's not unknown. Bill's not unknown, but at the end of the day, he is relatively unknown when it comes to the Premier League. At the end of the day, Scottish lads, I know they don't do great in internationals, but you know for a fact that the Scottish lad,
well,
he'll give you.
Well,
next Rangers captain he was, wasn't he?
I know he is. The paper, didn't you? What did you say to me?
He said we brought Jamie Nasson. He's the next. He's a future Rangers captain. I think, well, why have we signed him as the next Rangers captain? I said it's a joke anyway, isn't it? With the state of the football in Scotland. But to be fair, most Scottish players, if you go back through history, they're all grafters.
Oh, they've got
all
this,
grafters.
There's been some great Scotland. I mean, we're not talking about Scottish players now.
They'll go straight
Kenny
away.
Dalglish, what a player! It's like, I mean, we go back to Scholes and Cartwright, and for example, Gianni and Bueller. That January window, we weren't linked to Gianni and Bueller all the way through. It's 3 weeks of it we weren't linked to Gianni and Bueller because we were after Alex Witzel.
Yeah.
We wouldn't budge on an £18 million fee. They even cut the price down of what they wanted. They wanted 23 to 25 million. But we still wouldn't budge on 18 million.
No.
This went on for 3 weeks, and then eventually they cut it out.
Said no.
And said no. And
then we did that with Yarmolenko as well.
Yeah.
That went on and on and on.
Yeah, and we panicked.
Yeah.
We panicked to go, oh God, who's available for 18? Oh, him, that Bueller who played well against us in a friendly.
Yeah,
But
one game.
Yeah,
Game he
yeah.
played in a pre-season friendly, and he went, he mullered his signing.
Yeah, and that's what I mean. See, we've gone and signed Gianni and Bueller, who's been nothing but an absolute waste of space and breath.
And Witzel would have been an ideal replacement for Nzonzi, really.
Well, I mean,
because
Witzel's a top player.
Well, you already know that he's a complete player. If you're going to sell one of your best players, you need to bring in somebody of the same quality. Because at the end of the day, at that point in our time in the Premier League, we were pushing for go higher.
Yeah, we were, yeah.
Finishing 10th, right, we've got on out of it, we've got good players, we've got a good core of players, we've lost one of his best players. Right, go out and spend the money on the right player. Don't go out and buy somebody who can't get in the Portuguese side in a Mickey Mouse league.
Well,
Again,
yes.
it's at the end of the day, it's another league that's Benfica, Sporting Lisbon and Porto, and that's it.
Well,
if you can't get in that side, there's something seriously wrong, isn't it?
Well, he got on the side, but it was his attitude problem.
Yeah, well, they booed him when he played,
That's
didn't
what they booed him on the pitch. So straight away, as if I was the chief executive or Scholes or anybody who's got a brain in football, I'd go, wait there, why aren't they signing him? Can't we just leave it till the summer?
Yeah.
Instead of just going, it doesn't matter where we finish because we were going to stay up that year anyway, we had enough quality. So you just look at it and go, Scholes, use your brain.
I'd have walked away at that point straight away. Alarm bells would have gone for me. If you're getting booed by your own fans, you could understand if. I mean, I suppose you're taking a punt with Arnautovic when he was getting the same sort of views.
It was a small fee they wanted. It was $2.5 million, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was small money, and it either worked or it hadn't. And if it didn't, then I don't think it's a great loss. But it's the same with Bojan as well. We've wasted so much time on him because he had one decent season for us, and I don't know. I think when the big players came in, Scholes and Cartwright panicked about moving forward. They didn't know where to go with it.
Oh yeah,
You've got to have some football knowledge of where you want to push forward. You've got to look at that team, and when you speak to the manager, you go, "Well, I think if we can improve in the middle, if you're gonna delegate with the manager, you've got to know what you're delegating about. You can't come in and say, "Well, I'm going to do whatever." You've got to know. You've got to sort of sit there and go, "Well, we've lost one of his best players. What do you want to do about it?"
Well, the best player, let's be honest. We
found
out who's the best player. I mean, after he left, it literally fell apart. It just completely fell apart. I mean, the team, but it doesn't help when you spend £18.5 million on a player that sits on the bench. And that is directly Scholes' fault. Because the thing that annoys me most about Tony Scholes, it isn't just the bad signings, it's how he deflects it all the time.
Yeah.
He's known as Teflon Tony, and there's a reason for that. He's known as Teflon Tony because he avoids it by throwing it all on the manager.
Yeah.
He'll go, oh, well, the manager had all these choices. Yeah, but if Cartwright comes in with a list of 10, you're going, no, too much money. Oh, he's free. And you look at them three and going, oh, well, there's 2 from Belgium we don't know, who are 2 young lads. You've got an Italian that we don't know. And then you've got James McLean.
Yeah, but aren't they the same list? You know, at the end of the season, Sky Sports always put on that here's a list of players you could sign who are on a free transfer. That list is the same list every year.
Oh, yeah.
It's the same faces on year in, year out. And normally, Stoke will pick 1, 2, 3, 4 of them.
Yeah.
Every year.
It's the same ones.
It's the same ones who get released. 1 year contracts and they're gone, and it's the next one.
I mean, the most frustrating thing is that I can't remember the last time we bought a player that was in form. I just can't remember. No. The only two that reasonably come to my mind as players that we spent money on who've been in form is Jonathan Walters.
Shea Begovic was in form at Portsmouth.
No, he wasn't playing, was he? Because David James was in there. So we tried to get David James, didn't we? So that could have been another calamity there. Literally, James. But
I think I'd have handed my season ticket in there.
I've had enough. I'm going crew.
Yeah. Not a chance.
They don't lie to us. But, you know, Butland and Walters. I mean, Crouch couldn't get on the Tottenham side. Who couldn't get on the Middlesbrough side? No. Bego couldn't get on the Portsmouth side. I mean, going on, who else?
Everton was in the bookies.
Yeah, Everton was in the bookies. You couldn't get him out of there.
Whitehead couldn't get on the Sunderland side.
Yeah, Jones couldn't get on the Sunderland side. I mean, you'd like that. You're running out of fingers of players that weren't doing well. Abdullah Faye couldn't get on the Newcastle side.
Abdullah had 2 broken legs after
Abdullah played one game and nearly killed himself. It's one of them. But Pulis was able, like I say, Pulis was able to turn a dog shit into a gem because he could coach them.
Followers nothing.
Oh yeah, before he came to Stoke, he couldn't get in the Southampton or Portsmouth side.
And now a lot of Stoke fans will say he's one of the best they've seen.
Yeah, he's one of the best. Yeah. He is. He's one of the best recently. Yeah, he's no Mark Sharon, but he's getting it up there, isn't he? Yeah, good player.
Well, he loved the fans, and the fans loved watching him. Because at the end of the day, we didn't play great football under Pulis, but he was that shining star that made something happen.
Yeah, you watched it for him.
You didn't know what he was going to do, and fans love that. They love that sort of element of surprise. And the thing is, a lot of other players are just like, what's going to happen here? Well, he'll cross the ball and he'll try and edit.
Oh, that's it, yeah.
That's it.
That's what all the strikers used to have. You used to have like Shanini, who's 50p head. But I mean, going back to Scholes and Cartwright, though, I mean, it's just too much to go on. I mean, the amount of quality we've missed out on. But he doesn't seem to learn from this. He does the same thing year in, year out. Yeah. And I just want to know, like, I'd love to interview him. And I'd find out if he gets a bonus every year for keeping us in the black, keeping us out of debt. Because that'd explain the lack of overspend that we make. So if he's doing that, like Harry Maguire, for example, this is the big one that annoys me more than, it's the worst one he did. He could have got Harry Maguire for, I think, 24 million.
Yeah.
But I think because he didn't want to put the club in debt because he loses his bonus, or I can't say that that's true, but we end up with Kevin Vimy.
And yeah, but then how much money have you lost getting relegated?
Oh yeah, that's
what
I mean.
Bought Maguire in, and then we stay up. Then your payment that you get for staying up would have covered that.
Yeah, in the long run.
In the long run, it covered it.
But not only just that in the long run, in the long run, it's now worth about 60 million.
Yeah.
So if you had those 2 players we could have signed that window.
Plus you wouldn't pay 60 million for him now. I know it sounds stupid. He's not that young. People think that he's only a young lad, but he isn't. And the thing is, if we'd have bought him in then, you could have had him for 3 years.
And sold him for big money.
Done what his job is, get the money in, happy days. But you can guarantee, with Scholes and Cartwright, if we'd have brought him in then, if he kept us in the Premier League and we sold him Man United for, say, 50 million, the manager would have only seen about 20 of that.
Oh yeah.
Because it had covered all the bonuses.
Yeah, it covered all
the
bonuses.
Coates family, all the Coates family, they were in the paper saying they had a big bonus.
Yeah, that's
true.
It's
also had a bit, yeah. But how much money did that come out of Stoke? You just don't know, do you?
Well, the thing that annoys me more than anything is that Denise doesn't get involved with the club because she's got that bank balance which could turn Stoke into a top 10 force in England.
Yeah.
Easily.
She's not interested.
Well, she's not interested, is she? So I know what's gone on now is that Peter's realised his daughter isn't going to take over. So he's told basically Scholes to run it self-sufficiently.
Yeah.
But you can't be a self-sufficient club. Even at this level, you can't be self-sufficient. Look at Wolves.
Yeah. How much money they've got to spend, forget where they are. You've got to put money in. You've got to. And I don't think any of them have got any interest in Stoke anymore. I think when we spoke about it 18 months ago and said, well, Scholes and Cartwright are a big problem, I think the whole board is a big problem.
I think the whole board's been I mean,
I can't deny the fact that
we're
we're stable though, aren't we? We aren't having winding up orders. You look at Bolton from last year, points deduction for next season. We could be in a lot worse situation. I think we need a reality check in that sense a little bit. That I know we're not happy with it, but at the same time, you don't want to see a Portsmouth way start dropping 3 divisions.
Oh yeah, you're going in paid.
You might go into insolvency. You don't want that. You want to be solid. And the thing is, it'd be nice to know, because the thing is, coach isn't getting any younger.
Well, that's
could go any time. You don't know, do you?
That's it. His son's taking over now, and
what happens if he goes all of a sudden, and then it's like, well, who's it left to?
Well, it's John, isn't it?
Because if it's left to his daughter, she'll just flog it straight away.
She'll sell it, yeah. She got a job, she'll just sell the club. But I mean, like I keep saying now, it's like Justin James, for example. Justin James.
JJ.
Whatever his name.
Just call him JJ.
Bloody him from Luton.
Him in orange.
that lad. Again, we're going to miss out on him. And
can you blame him though?
No, of course you can. He's going to be third choice at Leicester.
Not just plays young lads though, hasn't he?
He's got Chilwell, who's about 23.
He'll be at Man City next season.
Well, it depends. It depends if they sell him. You've got that Ricardo for the
Well, they've got to be getting bored now. We've won the league twice. Just starting to people in the league.
Twice?
Morris, he's barely played second half of the season. But they bought him because they can.
But I just don't understand why. I mean, if Stoke went in there and gave him a good offer, give him a good wage, and said, right, come and get yourself down Stoke.
Yeah.
But I couldn't trust them with my car keys. I just wouldn't trust them with it. They're absolute garbage.
Yeah.
It's like the 2 players I was most excited about, and I can remember mate saying to me, "No, don't be depressed. Don't be down all the time. We're gonna get him." And it looks like now we're gonna miss out on Justin James. We're gonna miss out on Matt Clark. So it'll be 2 number 1 targets I want to go.
So you're gonna go. Choice, yeah.
I mean, there's no guarantee that they are going to move there yet. We're going to wait and see. I mean, hopefully we get him. I mean, if we get him, it's...
If you get one of the 2, you'd be happy.
Oh yeah, I mean, if we've got Matt Clark or James Justin, it's...
Yeah.
I'd be ecstatic, because we've got a left back then.
But how many of us have really known anything about them 2 before it got mentioned?
Well,
Nathan Jones has come in, and then all of a sudden we're picking off a Luton squad because they've done well under Nathan Jones. I don't mind that.
I mean, it's that James Collins, that striker who's nearly scored 100 goals in 3 seasons.
Yeah.
I mean, I know he's 26 or 27, but it's got to be worth a punt.
Well, if you can score goals, normally you can score goals in anything.
Well, that's what I mean. You just put the ball in the net, don't you? But
what? Just like that, that's it.
Yeah,
just score, it's fine.
Well, he's not the Stoke players, is it? We bought Benny Foden for 12 million, and he just looks like Benny Lightball. But I mean, we've got to go through with these kind of players that we're on about now, and I'm struggling. I'm just struggling to see who we're going to get. I mean, I think Davies, Gregory, and Powell are Seeds.
Well, Sawyers is only if Joe Allen leaves. That's what they said. Yeah. Which makes no sense to me, because he's only worth 2.7 million.
I think they're tightening it. I think Scholes is tightening it, isn't he? He's tightening it up to make up for his bollock drop last season.
I think if he can get rid of the players that have been out on loan, then he might release a bit of money.
Oh God, I just...
I can't see it.
Well, it's going to eat me now, because I thought he would have gone by now. I thought he would have seen 2 or 3 gone by now. I thought Duke would have been gone, and Bewley, and Ndiaye. I thought they would have been gone by now.
I think Ndiaye will go. I think there's enough interest. There's enough in the papers.
Yeah, but every time I look, the fee goes down.
Someone's offered about 2.5 million for him.
2.5 million now, yeah. He started at 10, 8, 7, and now it's 2.5 million.
Yeah. So you can guarantee Scholes and Cartwright have looked over some of it and gone, we're not selling him for that much. You can sod off.
Oh, I know, yeah. Oh, I know. Because I think half the time with him, he's terrified of letting a player go, even though he knows it's for the good. Because he knows he's got spend to replace.
I think I'd be terrified if I sold someone for 2 million but I bought him for 18.
Oh, I know, yeah.
Do you know what I mean? You've got to look at it. If you bought a car for 50 grand and sold it for 100 quid.
Yeah, but when that car's Gianni and Bueller, I'd smash it in a wall myself. Get it out of the club. Simple as that, really.
It's tough though when no one's interested. Really tough. He's still under contract. It's great. How long a contract did he have from the beginning? That's what I want to know.
5.5 years, wasn't it?
That's ridiculous from a relatively young
Well, that's another thing that Scholes is fucked up on. That's another thing that he's done wrong.
Yeah.
Because he made a mistake with Nzonzi and Begovic, so we had to sell him in the last years of the contract. Thought, I mean, £7 million for Stephen Zonzi. £7 million.
It's embarrassing, that is.
I mean, no wonder most of Europe are going, so.
Yeah.
I mean, when we're selling, you know, good players for...
I mean, £7 million is embarrassing, really, when you think about it.
Steve,
did we buy him for £7 million as well?
No, $5 million we bought him for.
£2 million. Wow.
No, but he gets a bonus for that.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
Yeah. Didn't he go on to win the Europa League?
Yeah, he went to win the World Cup as well. He won the World Cup with France, didn't he? I mean, it shows you, don't it? He should have been gave, at the time, probably 30 to 40 million pound, but instead he goes for 7. I mean, for how much we made on him, I would have rather have kept him for a year and said he can go for free, and then
he could have even turned around to Sevilla and said, well, you can have him for 25 million, but we want someone else on top.
Yeah.
Could have brought Bartek's one of them and got a young Spanish player in or something, striker or winger, and somebody with a bit more creativity, and then you've got 25 million there for Witzel. Job done.
Yeah.
You've sorted out your midfield and you brought Watson at the same time.
But I mean, it goes now to the dreaded last season before we got relegated. We sold Arnie for £24 million, and to be fair, Scholes come out and said that's good business. It's in her if he goes to Man United now for 42.
That's bad business though, isn't it, at his age, really, for United?
Well, I mean, that's
worth nothing though in 2 years.
Well, United's worth now, is it? Now it's a shithole. I mean, when you talk about wasting money and
it is good business, mate. It says
it is
at £2.5 million. If the profit margin that you've made on plus everything he's done for the club,
it's the only success he's done, but it isn't a success because it cost us in the wrong run. We got relegated, and plus we wasted most of that on Kevin Vimy.
I think his agent didn't help matters. His agent was piling stuff in the press, and I just think I'd have dug my heels in. Prem to Prem. You've only got like this close season about Wan-Bissaka from Crystal Palace, 75 million, 80 million.
That's young lad, so isn't it?
But it's Prem to Prem. The fee's so much higher. You could have turned around to West Ham and go, well, he's not leaving for any less than 40 million.
Yeah, or 35. So
yeah,
you just upped it a bit, but just like Scholes is like, oh God, it's money that is. Oh, it's because he doesn't understand football.
You've got to be tough. You've got to be tough. The thing is, people, if you sell something yourself, people will always message you and try and take the mick and try and get it for nothing. Everybody wants everything for nothing. We'll turn around to him and say, well, you can have him for 25, but I want Noble in return. I want one of your best players.
Noble. No.
No, but do you know what I'm saying? You don't like Noble.
Noble can fuck off now.
Get 110 out.
Yeah, but he's a little terrier that pisses me off. I didn't feel that straight in your face.
He's not played the amount of games he has for West Ham.
Yeah, but West Ham, he's been desperate, haven't they, over the years, West Ham. I mean, going through it. I mean, like I say, how badly... But the thing is, as well, when we talk about the board, and we talk about Scholes and Cartwright, why have the Coates family let this happen and continually keep letting this happen?
He doesn't help when he comes out, does he? Look at in the year we were going down. I don't know what all the fuss is about.
Yeah, that'll be on his headstone.
What's all the fuss about? What's all the fuss about? I've never seen so many Stokies in one ground absolutely lose the shit in one game. As soon as everybody heard it, it was like, really?
And not only that, after he said that, we just went worse. He literally knows that.
Yeah, but he just kept constantly on Facebook all the time.
We just got worse. When he said that, what's all the fuss about? Everyone's just going,
yeah, we do.
Which is it's scary though. When he comes out and says stuff like that, and Scholes and Cartwright, Cartwright, we haven't got onto him yet, but Scholes is coming out saying this, that and the other, and then he comes in saying, oh well, we're doing well, we're getting the right players in. We haven't signed the right player since Pulis.
Well, the thing is, Coates has come out this season and said the season's not quite gone as we planned for. Well, state the obvious, Coates. You know what I mean?
He just wasted £50 million on Stripe. That's why. I mean, I'd love to be a director of football and just go, James McLean, get out.
I honestly think this argument would have not been as bad if they'd have come out at the end of the Prem season and said, we have made some mistakes and we will be trying to put them right.
They did.
No, but they didn't. They come out and it was like, you don't even mean that. You've done that because there's been uproar about everything. You've just done it as a push everything to one side. They should have done it before they went down as well. They should have come out and said something. You're the one who's running the club. Say something. Yeah, just keep hiding behind
the whole thing. Everybody's blaming the manager.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sorry, if the manager's at fault, why did he get so long as manager?
It's collectively though, isn't it?
It's everybody.
Everybody. You watch anything that goes wrong in any form of life, it is never just one person. It's a number of things that is the reason why it's happened. And that's, to me, Hughes has got a part to play in why we went down, and Scholes and Cartwright definitely have.
Oh,
and that's that. And
it's common sense though, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, when you look at Bournemouth and they go and get Dave Brooks and they go get Lewis Cook and they go and get Nathan Ake, talented young lads.
Yeah.
Now even that Solanke they've signed as well. Yeah, it's £18-19 million and he hasn't really proved himself. But they understand that in the future he's going to be worth a lot of money.
I still think Jordan Ive's got a big future.
I do. I think the problem is with him, I don't think he knows where his position is. He isn't a winger, without any question, because he's got no delivery. Him in a holding midfield position, he'll be a top player.
I think he should have done a couple of seasons in the Championship.
Like Taro Mings, who was another player of theirs who they bought from the Championship.
Yeah.
We were interested in him, but we said, oh no, we'll stick with Peters.
Yeah.
And then you look at the garbage we buy.
Can't learn him out.
You just look at the garbage. It's just so frustrating. It's every year.
Yeah.
It's not just once or twice.
I'd love to speak to Gary Rowett and just because when he came in, his plans were massive for Stoke. He was 100. Never seen anyone more committed to getting us back in the Premier League when he was interviewed. He was so like adamant that he was going.
That's why I liked him.
Yeah, he was so adamant though. You never backed off from him, did you? Really, even when he. At the end, you were still 100% behind him, weren't you?
Yeah. No, I thought, to be honest, I thought he was the right man. I did. I liked his confidence.
I'd just love to know from his perspective what got said at the beginning, because there were so many players who come out at the beginning of the last season, and you were thinking, these are top players.
Good player, yeah. Ben Osborne was linked. Yeah. Ben Pearson was linked. Yeah. Gale was linked as well, Andre Gray, and at the beginning you were thinking, oh my God, we're going to murder this, we're going straight back up. And then Afobe came in and I was in Etebo and I was thinking, oh yeah, we started well.
Yeah, I was happy with that too.
We started well. And then James McLean come through. And I'm like, why have we signed him?
He was no good at West Brom.
Well,
he never was, don't know, he kept getting inside.
But this is what I mean. There's nobody up there on the board to go, we're not signing James McLean, we're trying to get promoted, we're not going to get promoted, he's not going to score 15, 16 goals a season.
Yeah.
But there's nobody there, so he goes through. And I know why it went through, because Stoke weren't willing to pay that extra money to get Ben Osborne from Forest.
Like I said, I think Afobe, you can't, it is an head scratcher. For when, it's top goal scorer, and then for play the way he's played. He's not happy, or he's just all over the place from what's gone on in the season. I don't know.
I think with him, Rowett looked at him. He's tallish, powerful, because he's built big.
Oh, he is a big.
And I think he thought battering ram, goal scoring battering ram.
Yeah, whip balls in.
But then when you saw him play, that's not his game at all. No. He's probably one of the softest big men I've ever seen.
His best part of the season was under Rowett. That's when he scored his goals, under Rowett, especially away from home.
Non-entity under Nathan Jones, literally pointless. No point in playing him.
No.
You look at, I mean, Vokes I think Vokes, but we were linked to Vokes at the start of the season.
Yeah.
And Bat.
Yeah.
So we signed two players that officially, weirdly enough, under Rowett.
You can't really pass any judgment on Vokes either yet.
Well, I think he's a good player. I mean, that goal he scored at the end of the season was just world class, but I mean, when you're looking at players like him, and but what makes me think
he's going to do 46 games?
Well, that's why Gregory's coming in. Gregory will replace. I mean, like I say, Gregory's a good signing for Nout.
I think we need a striking coach. I do, and I do.
Yeah, we had Kevin Phillips who had a good record before coming to Stoke.
I do. Yeah, but the trouble is, just because you're a good striker doesn't make you a good coach, does it?
No, he was tipped as a good striker before he came. Because look at Derby's record scoring goals when he left, when he was there.
Yeah.
I mean,
maybe just in last Stoke.
So, well, he can fuck off, I think. More like Stoke Hill,
if
you know they're
if
doing
you were
it.
going to defend Scholes and Cartwright in any way, that would be the one thing I'd say. Is if you bring in people who on paper have done it elsewhere and they don't work, like Phillips and stuff. Maybe the blend wasn't right with the players. I don't know, but there's got to be some questions answered about the people who keep getting brought in and then they go in and then someone else comes in. I'd more prefer Nathan Jones to say no. Let's forget about the Prem now. It's in the past. Do you know what I mean? Let's build a squad that even if we, like I say, I know you want to win the league by record points, but I'd be quite happy.
I want it won by Christmas.
It's
not going to happen though. It's not going to happen. Well, I mean, last year they were saying they wanted it done by August, didn't they? Well, we won it. But
I'm sure there's some bad maths in there.
I was dead excited last season, and it just became an absolute nightmare, didn't it?
I still think any realistic Stoke fan would be happy if we finished in the playoffs.
I'd be delighted if we got to the playoffs.
Or even seventh. I just think if you get that stability right, gets the squad in, and then the season after we could go, right, we need just improve, just tweak it here and there. At the moment, we're just running round in circles.
Well, I mean,
we don't know what to do for the best. We need to get a squad of players together and go, this squad of players is a good squad.
Well, I mean, if Jones gets what he wants, I think he can achieve that. I really do. I mean, I'm the same as Ange on Not FM. I agree. If he gets what he wants, we'll go up. It's simple as that.
Players love him. Players keep coming out and saying how good he is.
I mean, I like his attitude. I like what he's about. But
and he's done it. He has done it.
Well, he's got Luton promoted, and he's pretty much built that side that got him up to the Championship now. Anyway,
goals I had Luton on the slip every single week when he was there. They were all over 2.5 goals. He always scored goals.
Just literally goals every week. I mean, it must be great, but watching Luton, Stoke, it's the opposite. Well, that was a 1-0 win. That was a 0-0 draw.
Yeah. I don't think anyone was that bothered when we beat Liverpool 6-1. It was just the fact that we scored 6.
Oh, yeah, I love that. Because it was like a bloke at work the other day came up to me and goes, that's 6 times? Because what, 6-1? It's like, what?
I don't think I can remember getting home that night, to be honest.
I actually can't remember that day, but a lot of it really. I think I passed out at one point. I got half time, I had a drink and went, is this happening?
It would be nice if we started getting a couple of 3s and 4s here and there.
Well, I just love seeing more than one goal and a win, really. You know, get rid of these draw.
You can understand. I mean, I know we won't walk away, but obviously, you can understand sometimes why people are going, well, it's pouring down with rain. Do we really got to watch that drab? Because that's what it was getting like at times.
Well, that's what it was like for a long time, wasn't it?
Well, it was promising at the start. I mean, we had a couple of dodgy games at home, but there was 1 or 2 against Derby and Leeds. The atmosphere was like it was sort of 6-7 years ago, and you're just thinking it's still there. It's still there. If everyone can get behind him and stop slating him, let's start afresh. Forget the Prem. Forget everything that's happened. Let's start again and just go for it and see what happens.
That's the dream, isn't it? I mean, like, I just want us to be excited again and all of us come back to getting behind something.
Yeah.
I mean, at the moment, being in that away end, I just feel embarrassed half the time because every time you're looking over to the left-hand side,
you're getting hammered.
They're getting hammered every week.
Yeah.
I hate it. I don't mind it when you can give some back, but it's few and far between.
Well, for some reason, we've moved closer.
I know, yeah. We're right on the gate now. It's like, we've come on. So now we're going to literally get it 4 times worse. We're literally going to be hanging his head for the rest unless Jones gets it sorted. But like I say, Scholes and Cartwright, I've just had enough of them. I mean, you can just see it in the stands where people are. I mean, you can see them in the stands now. People talking about Corrie and Game of Thrones because they're just bored of watching
the game. They're not watching the game. We always used to say if you weren't watching the game, you knew it was a bad game.
Oh yeah.
If you turn around and talking about what you've been watching at home, what you're doing tomorrow, you know it's bad news.
Or yawning and talking about, have you seen this feature on? You know, it doesn't make any sense.
Or cashing out at 56 minutes.
Well, that's what I mean. That's why I wanted to move mainly. There was blokes behind us constantly talking about, have you seen it's 2 for 1? I'm thinking, like, I don't care about your bets, mate. When you watch a game, start singing. They never sing as well, and they hate that. Especially in the south stand, we're all standing, we all mainly all sing.
Everybody's singing, aren't they? Yeah.
But I mean, so now we'll move on to another subject that everybody's excited about. We've moved from Carling, from Carlsberg.
Carling from Carlsberg? I thought it was Carlsberg to Carling.
Is he?
Yeah, it's the other way
Oh,
around.
it's the way around this. Oh. Well, they are, it's
Yeah.
better.
Yeah.
It's not
We've gone
anything.
from one dishwater to a posh dishwater now.
We've gone to an English dishwater.
Yeah.
I mean, it's no Erdinger, but it's a step in the right direction.
Yeah.
And also, we're now moving into the same territory as Nantwich Town. We can pay with his cards at the kiosk. Can you believe it?
Quick, get the credit cards out.
2019. Technology that's been out since 2005 and we're now using it.
That's going to be dangerous, that is. Especially on big games, that is. Like that. Calling. I've spent 78 quid on 7 pints.
I bought a wrangle out now. Well, like I say, so, I mean, the main thing, that was just a joke, by the way. The actual movement is
The A-bail did roll past the table, to be fair.
I know, yeah. Well, like I say, it was actually moving across to what we wanted to talk about was moving the away stand into the corner.
Yeah, I think the corner, since it's been filled in, is pretty dead, really, isn't it? There's
Every week,
nobody
yeah.
there.
Yeah,
I know they talked about having a section of fans that are going to sing there, which
It's
for me is a bit,
it's a bit tin pot, that is. If you've got a fan sing for you, it's time back in.
Because I did hear a rumour about United did that, moved a load of fans who sung, but sung alone in parts of the stand. So they sent some letters out and said, we need to get you together to sort out the bad atmosphere. Now, if you sending letters out because none of your fans sing, it is time to give up, because you literally are a prawn sandwich.
What an Arsenal game do?
Well,
Arsenal never sang.
I went to Arsenal away and they won 3-0 against us, and I barely saw anyone get up and clap.
Yeah, they're
They really
bad
are
bunch
bad.
of fans,
Yeah.
bad fans, Arsenal.
Yeah, they were sort of going at 85 for the tube.
I know, yeah. I mean, you hear those, what's it called, fan blood, and what's his name, that other bloke, that one, the cap, and they just go mental every week and they go, well, sing.
Well, the thing is, you've got in the new corner restricted view on the tickets. So why are our fans having restricted view? Why don't we give the away fans restricted view?
Well, that's what I mean, makes
Stop
sense.
them off in the corner. We could actually literally switch it round and put the kids where they are, just on the edge, on the other stand, on the main stand, and then.
Yeah, it would be best having them in the main stand.
Because then they're away from the away fans.
I mean, that's our sausage butter brigade, isn't it, there? The main stand is just quiet.
But you could have both ends of the goals surrounded by home fans. And I think
that's what I've been wanting for ages. Just have,
stick them in the corner.
Especially the south stand lot on that side. It'd be mayhem. Just like, come on.
The thing is,
getting them motivated.
If you look at, like, I remember when I went Leicester City away, they don't let a lot of away fans go. From what I gathered, we were on the corner, and it wasn't very big. The allocation must have been small for that game, and I just think we come down. Well, Stoke have got quite a big away stand. Just send 3,000 down, and I just think why are we giving away fans so much enjoyment here? Because the only legislation now is there must be seats near the pitch.
I think they're giving them that because it's such a crap night out. That's
Well, we know that. Yeah.
I mean, they've got. I mean, imagine if you were a Leicester fan, you've got to come Stoke for an away day.
Well, look at the 2 Norwich fans we bumped into last season.
Yeah.
Where can we go for a drink? Not Stoke.
Go to Manchester. Yeah, train at Manchester and come back at the last train.
Castle's your only bet.
To be fair, Castle's alright.
Castle's not a bad.
Connaughton's alright now and again, as long as you're posh.
Yeah.
What else is there trying to fit now?
The people on the stairs.
I don't know, we're not advertising Stoke quite well here. I think people are going to call us moaning bastards. What was he?
The stairs. I think it needs to be
the stairs. They need to sort that out.
It's been 3 years now and nothing's been done about it. We spoke to the club, we sent letters to the club, and it still keeps going on.
It's driving me mad, that is now.
Yeah.
But they're all the same, these little pretend hooligans jumping up and down.
Some of them are still at school. I'm sure they are.
Well, I mean, they're so frustrating in every way. I mean, they have a go at James McLean, and then he makes a great pass, and they go, "That's it, James!" Yeah. It's like they don't have a clue what they're doing.
Yeah. They don't know it, and they're slating players, and you're thinking, well, you've not been here 5 minutes. And the thing is, there'll be people who will probably slate us and say, well, when you go away games, no one sits in the seats. But when you go away games, everyone's in the same mode. Everyone's having a drink, everyone's having a laugh. No one actually knows where they need to sit anyway, so no one cares.
No one cares away.
When you're at home, it's like, well, you've paid how much for your season ticket? go and sit in it, or whatever ticket they've obviously got a season ticket because they're there every week.
Just stand near your seat.
Yeah, just stand up next to your seat. That's all you've got to do.
Jobs are good in that.
Yeah. It's like you all need like this sort of...
They're causing fights all the time. I mean, there's like an old man who was sat in front of us.
Yeah.
And he's had to move to a different area because
he's about 80.
He's about 80 because he can't get down the stairs. And he has to, if he needs a pee, he's literally nearly pissing himself because he can't get down the stairs.
Yeah. And not one of them will move.
Yeah, they won't move either.
And when we've approached it about it, they want to turn violence.
Yeah, they won't start fighting every time. Remember that little lad who was about 14 tried to come and start a fight with me? I was like, I'll slap you down the stairs.
When he stood up, he was like a candlestick.
A short one, I know.
Yeah.
It'll still be candlestick.
But it's not fair. If anybody needed any medical assistance, you can't get down the stairs.
I mean, I think they come from the family stand. They're all like a group, because they obviously know each other. There's a good like 15 of them. They all meet up on that stairs, and sometimes you don't really mind it if it's as long as
sometimes if you can squeeze through, I never say a word. But the thing is,
they're like a little horde of people that you can't get round.
The likes of me and you though, I don't mind saying something. If they get in my way, I'll move them. But there's plenty of people who are around that area who have left because they kept going one after another.
Yeah.
And every one of them, you could tell, are them sort of people who would never really try to upset anybody unnecessarily or have a go at anybody. So they daren't say anything because let's face it, there's a good 15 of them. And they're all burly lads. There's some of them that are big lads as well, aren't
they? I know. If you started a fight with the wrong one, I mean, like if that lad got near you and I was in the way, he's not moving me, even if he wanted to.
No.
It's not happening. We don't slap him down the stairs.
Yeah, exactly. But that's not what you go for the game, is it? You don't go for that.
Yeah, you don't go for mine.
Some people do, but it's stupid and you should be watching the football. You don't spend £344 a year
to watch a couple of kids
and
scrapping about on the stairs with themselves. I mean, you know, the worst thing about them is that you sit there and whenever they scored a goal, they're all jumping down the stairs.
They're climbing on people.
Yeah, they're all jumping down the stairs. They nearly knocked an old man who sat a bit further down.
Yeah, one jumped on his head.
They fell and they jumped on an old man's head. Get a grip of yourselves.
And then they're kicking off on the away fans, and you're guaranteed if they did come over the back,
they
get their head kicked.
Yeah, you'd see him shrink.
Yeah.
You'd see him shrink.
Little Dick on the stairs pissed himself. and that's I tell you what annoys me the most is the stewards, because I've had I can't count how many times I spoke to the stewards about it, and all of them are bottle jobs. Every one of them. They daren't go up and sort it out. All they need to do is go and grab a few coppers and go, right boys, let's go and sort these lot out.
You only need to send a policeman up, or a few. I mean, they're literally there.
Yeah.
That's what annoys me. They're literally left of you.
Yeah.
And all they have to do is just move across and go, you lot, get off the stairs.
Yeah.
But they won't do it.
Or do like what they used to do in the boothing end and have somebody stood up there. Because at one time there was a guy right at the top. Always in 19.
Yeah.
10 years ago, he was always stood next to me. All the time.
Speaking of that, what's happened to the boothing end?
It's gone. It might as well get demolished, doesn't it? Because nothing happens across there.
No atmosphere there now. I mean, that used to be the home of where all the songs came from. It's a South Stand now.
Well, years ago, I'd never have moved. I'd never even contemplated moving. And when I think about the lads who we know who've moved from the boothing into the away end, it's frightening.
Oh, yeah, it's everyone.
There's a good 100 that have gone from
there. Loads have moved from there into the South Stand.
Because the atmosphere is
that's where the party is, isn't it? That's where all the party is.
Yeah.
Right, so now we're getting on to his weekly feature.
Weekly feature.
We're bringing it you today, but
I think we should start bad first.
No, because we've been quite miserable today, so we're gonna have to pick it up a bit here.
We could do with some.
Because straight away people are gonna go, oh my god, what's
do some positive music on it. I feel good.
It's a weekly feature that we're normally going to we normally put it on the Friday show because this is new to everybody, the Potters podcast. We're going to have 2 a week, one on the Friday where we'll talk about what the team we're playing, we'll talk about what team we think is going to play, and then we'll decide to put in something positive because we aren't always miserable. He tries his best.
It's Sunday, it's work tomorrow.
It will be better. But there's not much to be cheerful about at the moment. But we're going to talk about a feature called The Hall of Fame and Shame, which is a player that we're going to put in the Hall of Fame, and a player that we're going to put on the Hall of Shame. We want you guys to join in with it. So if you've got
some names,
give us we've got a podcast, we've got an Instagram page, we've got a group page called The Potters as well, which is obvious really. But if you get yourselves on there,
there's that email again.
well, we've got to advertise. What I'm saying is that if you get on there, give us a player that you think is in the category of Hall of Fame or a Hall of Shame. Give us somebody, and we'll be talking about it. If you got enough votes, we'll talk about them that week. So it's up to you, really. I mean, if we get nothing, we'll just make our own up.
Myself got some old programmes I've looked through after about 50 weeks. We find here for fame.
Oh, Peter Coptef. Is he a famous shame?
Yeah.
So we need your help as well as much as his own. Make sure you always like us and share us, and we're on YouTube as well. So right, so we're going to discuss Stoke's Hall of Fame and Shame.
Where are we starting?
Right, so because we've been a bit of a negative podcast and slagging everything off, we're going to go straight in with fame. So we're going to have to go straight in with Vincent Perricard. No, that's obviously a joke. bit of a joke. We'll have to go with him.
I'm slightly worried though.
I know, yeah, because you can't be famous.
What's in that coffee?
Well, no, yours has lasted a while.
I mean, I made it. So.
Yeah, so we'll go in with Mark Shannon. How can you remember Shannon?
I can indeed.
How good was he?
I've never seen anyone down Stoke make goal scoring look so easy, really.
Oh yeah.
I mean, and he scored all sorts of goals as well. He wasn't like some strikers, you know what they're going to do, don't you, every week. Shannon, you never really knew what. He'd some weeks surprise you and score from outside the box. Then he'd do a tap in. He was always floating around the box. He never went too far back. He never went. Do you know what I mean? And he reminded me a bit of Sheringham sometimes. He was he just, I don't know. He just always had that.
I'd say he was more lethal than Sheringham though.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I mean, I can remember the old days of teletext, which I know a lot of the youth won't. And I can remember when Stoke were away. Yeah, me when I was playing Bamboozle, I had a quick look at what the score was. And then you'd look and you'd see Sharon.
All the time.
And you'd go, well, what would you put a bet on? Sharon.
Yeah.
But when you talk about Sharon, you have to mention Sturridge as well, don't you?
Yeah.
Because they were a good partnership. They did well together. But I mean, Sharon, I've not seen a striker as good as that.
But since. Everything about Sharon, when you looked at him, I don't know, he didn't strike me as somebody you'd go, yeah, he's going to score an handful of goals. He didn't have that look about him, did he?
Well, he didn't, because before and after he didn't.
But if you go through most of his goals, you have a look online at some of his goals, there's hundreds of tap-ins, but then there's loads from outside the box, headers, volleys, he did score all sorts of goals. He was a predator. That's basically what he is, isn't he?
It was like if you look at Dele Alli and Harry Kane now. Dele Alli was the assist maker like Sturridge was. And that's why they were known as the SAS.
Yeah.
The SAS of the second tier. And I mean, like I say, the amount of goals he scored was, I've not seen it since. I've not seen a player bury goals.
He got in the right positions, and that's something we don't do at the moment. You should look at it. If you're a striker, you should. I'd try and model myself on somebody. Think about the way you play and try and find somebody from the past who played a similar way. Because that's what he was. I think Sharon was very, because he could score left foot, right foot with his head, everything else from close in, from outside the box. Look at other players who can do it. If that's your game, there's hundreds of strikers that did that. Shearer did that, didn't he? Shearer could score from anywhere.
Well, that's who he reminded me of.
Yeah.
Like we used to class him as Shearer of the Champions. Well, then the First Division. But I mean, the reason why I don't think he gets as much credit as other strikers and other players is because he didn't do anything after.
No.
Or before. I mean, I think his record for QPR and Barnsley together was less than 20 goals.
Yeah.
He scored over 20 for Stoke in one season. So it comes down to, I think, Stoke fans...
It's like a forgotten man, isn't he?
Well, he's a forgotten man because when Coates decided to sell him, it basically led to the end of Lou Macari. And it led to some of the worst days in his history, where he went down to the second tier. And
a lot of people have still got. I mean, someone wrote earlier online that Lou Macari should still be at the club. in
He
some
should
form,
be. I mean,
some form of way.
I've said before that he should be director of football. I've said it for so many times, but
Stoke, you've got to have people who love the club, haven't you, sometimes? And at the moment, I think we've got a few that haven't. Let's not go back to negative, eh?
Yeah,
Positive.
But anyway, he used to score goals for fun. I remember, I can't remember which team it was against. I'm not sure if it was Brentford or Stockport, but he put the goal away, and I remember him screaming and shouting. Then I think he scored again, and it was like he just basically was that good that I remember him and I remember him fondly. I can't think of another striker as good. I mean, Fuller was good, don't get me wrong, he was a good player.
I think Sharon's first touch was the big thing.
Oh yeah, he was
a lot of players we've had in the past will always take one touch before they shoot. Sharon used to hit it first time so many times, it was frightening. You see a ball, I remember Sturridge crossing a ball once, and you're looking at it and you think, you've got to control this ball or it's going in Rose's head. And instead, he just hit it first time and straight in the top corner.
Top corner, yeah.
And he, for the level, it's strange that his career went the way it went. It really.
I think that was a lot to do with Sturridge though.
Because together
they were lethal. I mean, he could pick him out from.
It's very similar to another Sturridge that is, because when he lost Suarez at Liverpool.
Dean Sturridge.
Daniel Sturridge. Dean Sturridge.
His brother.
Daniel Sturridge was lethal when he had Suarez. Yeah, but together they were really well.
Yeah, but I mean, if you blow on Daniel Sturridge, his leg goes out, don't you?
But he had a spell, didn't he? No, you've got to look at it like Sharon. He had a spell.
He was lethal though, wasn't he? I mean, Daniel Sturridge was lethal, but anyway, we're talking about Liverpool players, you know.
Sturridge, that's what brought it up.
No, yeah.
It's your fault.
Well, it's his uncle, isn't he? Anyway, I think Daniel's his nephew, isn't he? Yeah, of Simon, yeah. So, well, and Dean, obviously. So, you know, it's obviously football in the history there. But, I mean, when Mark Sharon left, Simon Sturridge wasn't the same player. No. And couldn't seem to get a partnership with a few others, but Sharon, what a player. Yeah. And I'd love to see a player like that again. And you've got to remember, I grew up in my first couple of season tickets when I was a Stoke fan. I watched Sharon at the Victoria Ground, and you were thinking, oh God, it's great being a Stoke fan. We've got Steen, Sharon, Prisky Salido. It's like striker after striker. And then after,
nothing.
Carl Lightbourne, Vincent Perricard, Sidibe.
Yeah.
I can't think of another striker that scored. Gifton Williams had one good season.
Sammy disappeared. He scored a few goals.
Sammy, still don't know where Sammy is, to be honest. Finding Sammy is the quest now. Saying that,
I know you hated him, but he did alright for a bit.
He did alright. I mean, he never got into those kind of territory. He never got over 20 goals.
But the thing is with the dark days is you sort of forget who actually played for us in them dark days. Once everybody left.
Bruce Dyer. Everyone forgets about Bruce Dyer.
Yeah.
Michael Ricketts.
Yeah.
He's going to be a shamer. I can see it coming.
Michael Ricketts. I still remember him scoring at United for Bolton.
He was good for Bolton. It's like when he went Middlesbrough, got an injury, and that was it. He couldn't buy a goal. Go on, ref, we'll buy a goal, can I? It was one of them. But anyway, I think we've covered Mark Sharon enough there, really, haven't we?
Yeah.
World class, can't deny.
I think that's not a bad first one because it's not right up there.
I'd say that.
No, but I think it's sort of like it's. I think
maybe go striker.
Yeah, but I'm not saying striker. I mean. You could go higher.
Oh yeah, it's not James O'Connor, is it?
It's not quality, so...
It's not talking about James O'Connor, is it?
It's not talking about Danny Collins, are we?
He comes up every week. That might be a new slideshow here every week, Danny Collins.
I think we should get a canvas of him on the back wall there.
That'll be hard, get hold of.
This one might take a little bit longer, but I think we should be quite positive when we say it, otherwise this could sound...
The shame.
We could end up rioting over this one.
Oh yes, and the shame goes without saying really. It's
especially this season.
Any season.
Even West Brom seasons.
Any season, really, apart from maybe one. And the shame is obviously Saido Berahino.
Berahino, where's it now? I'm sure it's Berahino.
I don't really care, to be honest.
Saido will do.
Dickhead. Where do we start with him?
Well, I suppose you've got to look at the whole Pulis saying to Mark Hughes, don't sign him. Which,
when he was just playing.
when Pulis obviously had Stoke he was thinking about Stoke as far as.
I love Stoke. Pulis.
Yeah, he
Still
does.
does. He loves Pulis. Yeah, Stoke.
And he's turned around and said, "Don't sign him. He's trouble." And Hughes just sort of spat his dummy out a little bit and said, "Don't tell me what to do." And he's a bit arrogant of him, really.
Yeah, but he came out later and said he didn't want him, did he?
Yeah.
He came out, didn't he, and said he didn't want him. So
He's a big risk. But then again, this is where we come back to earlier on, is about signing names. Somebody said he was going to Tottenham for 14 million once, and that was it. Then he was the next England striker, and that was that. And we bought into that, even though he'd not been doing much at West Brom.
Yeah, it comes down to Scholes being a cheap arse again, doesn't he? Let's be honest.
But he did score goals at West Brom.
He had one good season, didn't he? He had one really good season where everybody was talking about him, even United and Tottenham tried signing him. But then after that,
too soon. Too much too soon on it.
It's just nothing after that point. I mean, we bought him, and literally, I could probably name. I can't name one good performance by him.
I can remember Summit when we were the year we went down, where he didn't have a too bad a game, but he was just. I think he just ran round a lot just so he looked like he had a good game.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
He did run, and he did wait, but there was nothing there.
He was supposed to be that sort of Defoe-esque who doesn't really go back. He's picking up the pieces, tapping this, and he never did that.
No,
he never did that.
Just garbage.
Yeah,
absolute garbage.
And he had ample opportunity to sort his morale out. Penalties that he missed.
Yeah,
missed against Southampton, didn't he?
I mean, he did an entire Premier League. A season and a half as a Premier League player with Stoke and didn't score a single goal.
Didn't he? 2.5 years without a goal, including West Brom.
2.5 years, and Stoke thought that was a viable play by.
Well,
shows the state we're in, really.
We could end up with another 45-minute conversation about Scholes and Cartwright.
Well, he's always going to get a mention. It's not like you say to everybody, but he's going to get a mention all the time. Scholes is. He's the reason why he came. Mark Hughes made it quite clear that he didn't want him, so he signed him.
What if the top of the league come Christmas and there's 6 points clear?
Well,
will be a poster of Cartwright.
No. No, it'll just be a picture of
the Messiah.
Nick Powell. If he signs, obviously. Yeah, name and shame. It's.
Well, I mean, he's obviously had his contract terminated now, hasn't he?
Well, we don't know. He hasn't been.
Has it not been definitely?
It's not been definitely confirmed, yeah.
I wouldn't have him back. I think he's silly getting caught drink driving, especially when you're a professional footballer. You could pay somebody to drive you around day in, day out. I just think it's daft.
Especially the money he's on. He's on what, 50, 60,000 £60,000 a week.
The amount of times you see footballers get caught drink driving, and I think you could pay a friend. You could pay a mate from school and just say, "Do you want a job driving around?"
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah, Shaqiri got caught as well, didn't he? Shaqiri got caught drink driving. I don't know why they do it.
No, I wouldn't even bother driving. Why make the effort driving?
You can afford the taxi now.
Yeah,
that's why we don't get taxis and stuff like that, because they're too expensive and they're too pricey at the end of a night out. But they're on 50, 60 grand a week.
You'd look after a mate, wouldn't you? A mate you went to school with, maybe someone who's you close with, and say, "Stop working, grafting your arse off, come drive me around and I'll pay you every week, just give me a job."
Yeah, you
know what I mean?
Enough money, yeah.
You're like, you'll get to see every football ground, you'll meet professional footballers and everything. It's like, that's all you need to do. Don't you go and hire someone professional, just hire someone to drive your car for you.
I just class him as an arsehole. I can't say anything more than that really about Bernie. I mean, he came in, we're all hoping because there's a big price tag there. So I mean, I think he is still the most expensive striker we've bought. I think he is. Yeah, we haven't bought anyone else for that kind of money. Yeah, so he's the most expensive striker Stoke have ever bought. He's got with the worst.
Yeah,
he's scored 3 goals in 2.5 seasons. Yeah, and that's even in the Championship. I mean, he might have scored a couple more than what I'm saying, but
I can only remember an handful of times.
Well, it was that League Cup header once, and
I know he scored once when I went down get a drink. And I could remember like a sort of sad, like a really sad bloody round of applause when he scored in the he's going to be on next week.
I can remember the League Cup one though, because that was a big thing because everyone was dead excited.
Yeah.
Everybody was like, "Oh my God, he's back! He's back!"
It's next Andy Cole.
He's not
No,
the
he's
next
not.
Seamus Cole. Yeah, you're right. He's absolutely garbage. So, like I say, I mean, we've got a bit downbeat. Next time we'll have to start the other way around, aren't we?
Well, the problem is with Berahino is there's not really much talk about when he's done absolutely nothing.
Well,
At
that's
least for some players who've been a bit poor, you can actually put them in a positive light and say, well, he did have
he did
6
leave.
months here, or
He did leave.
yeah, did score a great goal here, or there's no redeeming qualities.
There's nothing to
Berahino.
Berahino. There's literally nothing you can say.
Biggest waste of money we've had.
Just an absolute arse.
Yeah.
There's not many I can say. I can't say anything else really. He's just an arsehole. He's had enough opportunities to go out and make a name for himself. He's had plenty of stuff like that. I mean, I'll put it out to you lot. I mean, can you give me
A
just
positive.
one positive from Sado Berahino? Or what's his name?
Berahino.
Berahino.
I don't know, maybe we're both wrong.
Bento.
Sado.
Wanker. If he can, then we're all ears. I mean,
Has he washed your car?
as he bought you a lollipop or something.
Season
He should have bought everyone a season ticket for how much he's in out
I
the
think
club.
he should replace every little kid's football top who had his name on his back.
Oh,
Yeah,
can
he
you
came.
imagine if you bought a shirt with Berahino on the back of it? You'd be in it, wouldn't you?
Well, it's not as bad as me. I bought one with Good Johnson on. And they played twice, didn't he? Spent all that money on an extra lettering across the back. He's got like 15 letters.
Spent 40 quid on Good Johnson on the back.
Yeah. And the only thing, the best thing I remember him doing is passing the ball to Sunshine against United and he scored that. Screaming. That was it. That's all he did. One pass.
More than Berahino,
Well,
they're really in it.
I could be up there on fame. Remember that touch?
That touch, what a player. Yeah. Well, anyway, it's been good to hear from you all, and we hope you keep in touch with us and subscribe, obviously, and like us on Facebook, like us on Instagram, follow us on Twitter, obviously subscribe to us on YouTube. Keep listening to us on the podcast, because basically without you, there's no channel at all. I mean, we're new, we're trying to get out there, we're trying to be the proper voices of Stoke City fans. So we
promise things will get a little bit more positive. Hopefully,
we'll get more positive as soon as the season kicks off, or when a player that we like signs. As long as it's not Matthew Pennington, we'll be more and more positive. So thanks for listening, and I hope you subscribe and follow us, and make sure you tell your friends about it as well. Because the more likes we get, the more follows and people listening, the better we'll get. So
we'll get guests involved.
Yeah, we might have a page of the ledge.
Might get started,
Or Bryn. We're after Bryn, to be honest. We can get hold of Bryn from where is he?
Is he Hartshill?
Oh, it's from some bank, isn't he?
Anyone who's heard Bryn on Radio Stoke,
yeah,
would love him be a guest.
But we want him on a Friday guest when we talk about the opposition.
Berry Hill. Is he from Berry Hill?
Berry Hill, isn't he?
Berry Hill.
Berry
Bryn
Hill.
from Berry Hill.
So if you know Bryn from Berry Hill, he was always on Praise and Grumble, tell him we want to interview him.
Drop us a message.
Drop us a message. You know what we're on. As I say, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook group, The Potters. If you want to come on there, you can always have your say on The Potters. And all I can say is thank you very much for listening, and we'll see you next week.